A non-smoking mother of 2 has revealed her fear of leaving her children behind after being diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Joanna Marshall, 40, from Stirling in Scotland, is appealing for more funding for research into the disease that kills twice as many women as breast and ovarian cancer. Like Emmerdale star Liv right now, who is also battling the terminal disease, it took Joanna 3 visits to the doctor to get diagnosed. And while she is determined to stay positive and live life to the full, Joanna admits she initially considered suicide upon receiving her devastating diagnosis. "I work full-time, I parent my children, I have fun, I do something I enjoy every day," she said in an emotional video. Scroll down for video. "I wouldn't want it to be any different. I think I have made the right choices in regards to my treatment. I want to show that it's not just older smokers that get lung cancer. Young mums can get cancer, even if they have never smoked, so I want to bust any myths that might be associated with it," Joanna added. "I also want to increase awareness and measures that can be put into place to improve quality of life because as patients survive longer, they need support in different ways where perhaps there isn't enough focus on development. I don't want my children to be motherless because lung cancer doesn't get enough money for research. I just hope as each month turns into a longer survival period that new treatments will be found and I never have to think about ending my life," she concluded in the heart-wrenching video. Joanna, who works as a manager of a drinks company, initially considered suicide after she was diagnosed with type 3B lung cancer at the age of 37 after suffering from a persistent cough. Joanna, who is mother to 2 children aged 7 and 4 with husband Rupert, was only given the shock diagnosis after 3 visits to the doctor, who eventually referred her for a chest X-ray when the 5 cm tumor in her right lung was discovered. At the time, doctors estimated that Joanna had been suffering from the disease for 5 years, but was asymptomatic. Type 3B lung cancer is classified as an advanced stage of cancer that is not usually curable, but is treatable and involves a tumor of any size that has spread to distant lymph nodes or has invaded other structures in the chest. Her plea comes after former Emmerdale star Liv right now, 53, revealed overstretched doctors missed her own lung cancer diagnosis, which claims the lives of 44 women every day. The star, who played Zoe Tate, was diagnosed with inoperable and incurable stage 4 lung cancer in 2016 after being rushed to hospital with a swollen abdomen. Leah, who is currently receiving private cutting-edge treatment in Germany with the help of a GoFundMe page, told the Daily Star on Wednesday that the NHS needs more funding to help people in her position, and her plea has inspired other lung cancer fighters to share their own appeals. Speaking to the Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation for the Happy campaign, Joanna told her own brave story. "I was 37 when I was diagnosed and that was in February 2015, she began, explaining, "At that time my diagnosis was stage 3B lung cancer and I had a 5 cm tumor in my right lung." Campaigners have argued for years that the NHS is strapped of cash and desperately needs more funding to cope on a day-to-day basis. It is now in the midst of its worst financial crisis in a generation, they warn, as the health service struggles to function on a tightly constrained budget. A&E waiting times have soared to record levels. Tens of thousands of patients have had to wait outside casualty units for treatment, and dozens of trusts have reported they have no free beds this winter. NHS England has been allocated £123 billion this financial year from the budget, but further cash injections have been asked for. Last November, Chancellor Philip Hammond promised the health service a £2.8 billion cash injection over 2 years, but this was a third of what experts demanded. Health trusts across the country have reported severe financial constraints in recent years as chiefs tightens their purse strings. Type 3B lung cancer is classified as an advanced stage of cancer that is not usually curable, but is treatable and involves a tumor of any size that has spread to distant lymph nodes or has invaded other structures in the chest. Unfortunately, that did progress. After that I had curative radiotherapy which lasted for a wee while. And then unfortunately they found another tumor in my left lung and metastasis in the brain, she added. It was pretty devastating for my family and it has changed relationships. There are positive aspects to it as well, but generally it makes life very difficult for everybody, shockingly. She went on to explain there were no symptoms. And she was keen to end misconceptions that lung cancer sufferers are usually older smokers, like so many people who are diagnosed with lung cancer. I had no symptoms at all. The doctors thought I probably had the cancer for about 5 years before it was discovered. So I was asymptomatic for 4.5 of those 5 years, absolutely nothing. Healthy young woman, and Joanna admitted that she initially considered suicide. Unable to deal with the thought of painful treatments, so I thought that if I was ever diagnosed with cancer that I wouldn't be one of those people who went through years and years of treatments, she revealed bravely. I wasn't a fan of chemotherapy. I thought it was chemicals that could do your body more harm than good. I thought I would probably find a way of committing suicide if I was ever diagnosed with cancer and it wasn't curable. However, she soon changed her mind on beginning treatment. Realizing her diagnosis was not a death sentence, my experiences completely changed all of that, and there has been research in the field. Most patients are diagnosed late. Most of them have advanced lung cancer because you can be symptomatic for so long. Now treatments have advanced to the extent that it is not a death sentence. There is a chance, it's still a small chance, but there's hope you can survive. Having that hope means that you can stay alive for longer and that you have a quality of life that makes life worth living, she concluded. Her husband Rupert added, "It's been really hard. We've seen 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But Jo's strength has really shown through." Speaking to Females, she revealed she is currently receiving a new form of chemotherapy, as her lung cancer has developed into another form of the disease, neuroendocrine cancer. This is apparently extremely rare in non-smokers. So she has been doubly unlucky. However, overall, she remains in good spirits and says she's not in much pain. Leah was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer in October 2016 and faced a race against time to raise £50,000 to pay for pioneering treatment in Germany. The award-winning actress, who played lesbian Zoe Tate in the ITV soap for 16 years, had been told by doctors that her cancer is not curable and not operable. An online appeal was launched to raise funds so Leah could visit the clinic that specializes in DNA-based immunotherapy, and within 24 hours of her announcement, fans had raised a staggering £40,000. Donations poured in from more than 1,700 people, including a £5,000 pledge from one anonymous donor. Now that total is up to £62,355, and Leah has been receiving treatment she hopes will increase her life expectancy. Miss Brightnell, a 52-year-old mother of 2 to Lily, 25, and Maya, 21, who is believed to be a vegetarian and a non-smoker, said she felt fit and healthy just weeks before she was diagnosed. She was about to start rehearsing for a comedy play alongside her work as a yoga teacher, but in a matter of days she had become breathless climbing stairs, and her abdomen swelled so much that she looked heavily pregnant. When her heart rate rose to 180 beats per minute, she was taken to hospital. There, a liter of fluid was drained from her heart and doctors diagnosed her with stage 4 lung cancer. In an emotional post online, Miss Brightnell said, "I was told later, without that emergency procedure, I would have died, so I am beyond grateful. The bad news is that I have been diagnosed with lung cancer, stage 4. In their opinion, that means it's terminal, not curable, not operable. A fairly brutal and bleak diagnosis, but one I am determined to challenge and see from the perspective of a glass half full. Going against a lifetime of pessimism, negativity and fear." Mr. Hughes explained the £50,000 target would pay towards Miss Bracknell receiving potentially life-saving treatments at the Hallowell Clinic. He explained that the clinic uses DNA testing to attack the specific cancer cells in your body. And there are cases where previously incurable cancers go into complete remission. In his fundraising appeal he said, "She has responded with incredible positivity and we're determined to fight this." After a month of researching and getting advice from professionals, we've found there are incredible breakthroughs being made in clinics in Europe that combine the best of integrative, alternative medicine with the most cutting-edge modern treatments such as immunotherapy, as fit in landowner Zoe Tate in Emmerdale. Miss Bracknell portrayed the first lesbian in a British soap. Her farewell from the show in 2005 won her the Best Exit at the 2006 British Soap Awards. She has also appeared on TV in Judge John Dean, A Touch of Frost, DCI Banks and daytime soap The World Today. She has also toured the country on stage in productions ranging from Shakespeare to pantomime. Miss Bracknell lived in Yorkshire for 25 years before moving to Worthing, West Sussex.
The freaks at.